What's up, guys? We are back looking at the Cincinnati Bengals going on the road to take on the Baltimore Ravens here in Week 10 Thursday Night Football action. Let's jump in here and find the best value on the side and over-under, and while we're at it, let's find some of the best player props of the night. On top of Thursday Night Football, we have 3 games on the NBA slate, and we are going to break those down as well. If you want to win all of your Thursday bets, guys, hit that like button. It's good luck and show support for the channel and all the hard work we're putting in every single day. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on our daily content. You can now also sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Members get exclusive early access to all NFL and college football videos and get their names up on screen just like right now. I really appreciate the support from all of you. Seeing that little badge next to your comments absolutely warms my heart. Our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. We have a team of experienced cappers over there for every major sport, currently covering NFL, college football, NBA, UFC, NHL, and NCAA basketball. This is one of the best times of the year to be in the mix with so many sports going on. Click the link in the description if you're interested in signing up, and also to join our free email list to get the occasional free or premium pick straight to your inbox. Comment below with any bets you're looking today, and we will give you our best advice on all of them. We are committed to responding to every single comment every day, so let us know anything you want to say about my picks, these videos, or anything you see here. As always, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into this Thursday Night Football matchup between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens. The Bengals come into this game, guys, they are sitting at 4-5 on the season. They're currently in 3rd place down there in, the bottom half there of the AFC North, so that's not exactly what they had in mind this season, but they can take a little bit of, solace in the fact they are coming off of a win there against the Las Vegas Raiders. It was a blowout win, 41-24, so nice stuff there from the Bengals and Joe Burrow. We did see them play this game without Higgins, so there was a little bit of reason for concern, but Burrow played amazing. 5 touchdown passes. He completed 27 of 39 passes there for 251 yards, so not a crazy number out there, but was only sacked once. He did have 1 interception in the game, so that's a bit of a problem. You want him to be avoiding those mistakes, especially against bad teams, but it was great for the Bengals to have a big, breakout performance there playing in front of the home fans. We saw Chase Brown have a massive day running the ball. He went nuts out there. 27 carries, 120 yards for him. He had a 21-yard carry in there, but that was his longest of the day. So you can tell he was really just grinding out positive yardage on every carry that he got. So great stuff there from Chase Brown. The Bengals are definitely going to be hoping they can establish the run game a little bit better, as a team that hasn't really been part of their identity this season. Maybe it can be here going forward. We saw Mike Gesicki leading the way there in the pass catching department. 2 touchdown catches for him, 100 yards. He caught 5 out of his 6 targets, so great stuff there. Jamar Chase was getting a lot of attention there from the defense, but he still managed to catch 7 of 11 targets, only 47 yards there, so not exactly ideal. And T. Higgins was out for that game, so yeah, that was a little bit of a problem there for the Bengals. They were hoping they would get him back for this one, but once we dive there into the injury report, you'll see kind of looking like a long shot that he plays in this game. But other than that, guys, the Bengals have to feel very good just across the board about how their offense looked. On the other side of the ball, guys, the defense was problematic. They gave 24 points in the game, so that's not great. They did a decent job there against Gardner Minshew, but not a very good job against Desmond Ridder. Maybe they were letting their feet off the gas a little bit, but still, guys, you got to figure stuff out there. I mean, they did have 5 sacks in the game, but they generated only 0 interceptions. They did generate a couple of turnovers there, both fumbles, both from the quarterback. So they did a good job of rushing the passer. Will they be able to replicate that here against a much, much better Baltimore Ravens team? We'll have to see. Obviously, giving up 24 points, not ideal. And over the course of the season, guys, this has not been a good defensive team. That's been the biggest problem for the Bengals this season. They're giving up 25.2 points per game. That is a very, very tough look there for Cincinnati, a team that, came into the season with pretty high expectations. So we'll see what they can do here. Obviously, going on the road against Baltimore, a very, very vital game for them. In terms of their injury report, guys, Cincinnati, their biggest question this week is whether or not T. Higgins is going to be back. But right now, he's being listed as doubtful there with that quad injury that's been keeping him on the sidelines. Orlando Brown Jr. is listed as questionable there on the offensive line with his knee issue, but we don't have a ton of clarity on whether or not he'll be playing in this game. There's definitely still a chance that he could be out there for this one. So if that happens, obviously that is a solid bonus there for the Bengals. On the other side of the ball, guys, on defense, Cincinnati's pretty healthy. Only BJ Hill on the injury report there on the defensive line. And with a rib injury, I think there's a very good chance we see him suit up for this game. So the defense hasn't been great. They did have a good time pressuring the quarterback last week. And if they can, be healthy there on the defensive line, maybe there is reason for optimism here. So we'll see what they can do as they go on the road to take on the Baltimore Ravens, who are currently tied in the win column there with the Steelers atop the AFC North. The Ravens come into this game fresh off a blowout win, a nice bounce back for them coming off of a very bad loss there at Cleveland. But yeah, a 41-10 win for them there against Denver. And at 6-3 on the season, I don't think they're too broken up about where they're at right now. In that win over Denver, guys, obviously it was a blowout, so we saw lots of great stats there. I mean, Lamar had another banner day, 280 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns. He was 16 of 19. Very, very good stuff. Only sacked once in the game. He didn't have to run the ball too much, which is obviously a good thing. You don't want him to have to run the ball a ton against these bad teams. Just no reason to be putting his body on the line in those kind of spots. Only 3 carries for 4 yards in that game. But Derrick Henry, he doesn't need a whole lot of help there in the running game, guys. He was dominant. 23 carries, 106 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. So Derrick Henry continuing to be an absolute monster out there, guys. One of the best, probably not one of the best, probably the absolute best. Him or Saquon, right there neck and neck, I guess I would say. The best acquisitions made in the offseason. Obviously, just completely capable of changing the whole face of like the running attack of a team. Those two guys are. By the way, that backwards hurdle by a Saquon, one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my entire life. So, in general, guys, Baltimore just having a great time there on offense. Zay Flowers had a huge game, 5 receptions, 127 yards for him. So that's very, very nice. He only had 6 targets and caught 5 of them. Just a super efficient day out there from the Ravens offense overall. Gotta love it. Gotta love it if you are a Baltimore Ravens fan. On the defensive side, guys, they had a pretty good game. Obviously, we got to take into account they're playing at home against a rookie quarterback who's playing on the road. Bo Nix had a very rough time out there. Only 19 of 33, sacked 4 times, picked off once. Just not a very good day. Javonte Williams did put up some decent, work on the ground, but they had to, start throwing the ball pretty often, pretty early because they were down so bad. But overall, the Ravens still had no answer out there for Cortland Sutton. So not a great sign here as they're going to have to, go up against a much, much stronger passing attack here in the Cincinnati Bengals with Joe Burrow playing at an MVP caliber level. So we'll see what they can do on defense. That has been the biggest problem for this team all season long, though. Baltimore has just been pretty horrendous there on defense. They got kind of worked there by Jameis Winston at Cleveland, the week before, and yeah, just not having a great time. They gave up 31 points against Tampa Bay. They gave up 23 points against Washington. They gave up 38 points against Cincinnati earlier this season, and on the year, guys, they are 23rd in the NFL, giving up 24.3 points per game. So this offense has been amazing, but they have needed all of it to come up with wins this season. So looking at the injury report here for Baltimore, guys, the Ravens somehow fully healthy on offense, which feels like a miracle here 10 weeks into the season. Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers all ready to go for this game. This is a dominant squad, and the offensive line is at full strength as well. So all good news there for Baltimore on offense on that injury report. On defense, the Ravens are going to be missing some pieces, but technically have all healthy starters. So right now, Ravens fans have a reason for hope that this unit can show a little bit of improvement. Obviously coming off of a very successful game there against Denver, but this Cincinnati offense is a whole different situation. So we'll see what they can do out there. Obviously, I'm not too high on either one of these teams defensively. I mean, just look at what they've done this season. I think that's really all you need to see. It has not been a great time. Looking at the weather report for this Thursday night game, guys, things are looking pretty great out there. I mean, in Baltimore, guys, we have temperatures in the low 60s, no precipitation likely. There's like a 10-11% chance, so we'll see if that comes through, but honestly, very unlikely to see any sort of meaningful rain in this game. Wind, also not an issue for this one, guys. Nothing getting over 10 miles per hour, even the gusts. So yeah, the passing and kicking game should be very close to completely unaffected here by anything to do with the weather. Looking at some trends for this one, guys, Cincinnati is 5-4 against the spread this season. They are 6-3 to the over. Baltimore 5-3-1 against the spread, and they are 8-1 to the over this season. Baltimore is the best over team in the NFL so far this year. Guys, we have a big total out there of 53, and totals of 52 or more on Thursday Night Football are 14-5-1 to the under, and that's dating back to 2003. The trends point hard towards the over for this game, with these both teams trending towards the over here, but that is a ton of points, obviously. I'm leaning slightly towards the under here, just a little bit, because the Ravens, they're going to be wanting to run the ball against this bad Bengals defense. The Bengals ran the ball really successfully last week, so maybe they're going to want to try that again, but we've got 2 terrible defenses out there, so I could see both teams scoring a lot, and this over-under play, not one I'm in love with. We're going to be slightly leaning towards that trend there of Thursday Night Football games going under. So yeah, give me a little bit of a taste of the under, but not an over-under spot that I'm in love with. On the side in this game, guys, Joe Burrow, when he is an underdog of 3 or more points, he is 16-3 against the spread. However, home teams this season are 6-3 against the spread. I'm not getting cute with this one, guys. Give me the Ravens to get the winning cover in this one. I'm not overreacting to the Bengals having a big game against a terrible Raiders team. I don't think their defense can slow down anyone, especially not this Ravens offense that has looked like the best team in the NFL this season. So yeah, go ahead and give me the Ravens here. I think they're going to have a pretty good time. The one caveat I will add to this, guys, keep an eye on that injury report. Obviously, Higgins is doubtful for this game, but if it ends up that he's going to play, and if we see this game get back up to 7 or, get to 6.5, we might have to switch sides. This is a very close spot. So with Higgins, that makes a huge difference. That would make us want to go towards the over. That would also make us want to go towards the Cincinnati Bengals and the points as long as it's over 6. So we'll see how things develop. Like I said, keep a very close eye on that pinned comment. We'll be updating you with news in the comments on this video as always. So ask me anything you want down there. I will have as up-to-date information as exists out there on the market. So we'll see what happens there, guys. That's my lean on the side and the over-under. Let's go ahead and take a look at some player props for this game. And first up, guys, I like Lamar Jackson here at 250 plus passing yards at plus 125. He's been over 280 yards, guys, for 5 weeks in a row. This is such a good price. It almost feels like a trap, but I definitely like Lamar here at plus 125 to get those 250 passing yards. Seems like an excellent spot to me. It's got a good chance of ending up in the pinned comment. Also with a great chance of ending up in the pinned comment, guys, I like Derrick Henry here over 89.5 rushing yards. He's only got to get to 90. That's at minus 120, so not a great price, not a terrible price. And he's been over 90 yards in 4 out of the last 5 weeks. And I don't think the Cincinnati Bengals defense is really going to be the defense that's going to stand up Derrick Henry and slow him down. That dude has been on an absolute just monster level tear all season long. In the passing game for the Ravens, I like Flowers here over 59.5 receiving yards at minus 120. He's been well over 100 yards in 4 out of the last 5 weeks. So that's a pretty good look. Cincinnati, obviously not the best defense. And yeah, I just think Lamar's going to have another good day passing the ball. I think they could be viewing this as a situation, a game where they don't want him to have to run a lot. So he's going to be throwing it. Zay Flowers is his favorite target. I think him getting to 60 receiving yards in this game is very, very good value. It has a great chance to end up there in the pinned comment as well. On the Cincinnati side, guys, I like Joe Burrow here under 274.5 passing yards. It's at minus 140, so not an amazing price, but missing Higgins, only 234 passing yards versus Philadelphia, only 251 passing yards against Las Vegas. Yeah, I mean, the Philly defense, obviously not terrible, but Las Vegas, a pretty bad defense, and I think the Bengals would love to be able to establish the run in this game and keep things messy and close. So yeah, I think Burrow probably not going to have an insane night passing the ball. If Higgins ends up playing in this game, though, guys, this one is going to be a scratch for sure. So keep updated on that injury report and check back on the pinned comment to make sure nothing major changes, because this is a day, like I was saying, guys, things could change drastically with injury news. Still on the Bengals side, guys, I like Chase Brown here over 59.5 rushing yards at plus 105. Like I've been saying, guys, that Baltimore defense, nothing to write home about. The big concern for this game would be, if the Cincinnati ends up down big, they're not going to be able to concentrate on the running game. So we'll see what happens with that. Obviously, no Higgins in this game means they're going to have to run the ball more. So as long as no Higgins thing happens, then Chase Brown over, to get to 60 rushing yards doesn't seem too crazy to me. He had 120 rushing yards last week. Last but not least here, and maybe my favorite prop for Cincinnati in this game, guys, Mike Gesicki over 49.5 receiving yards at minus 130. Obviously, minus 130, not an amazing price, but to get to 100, to get to 50 passing yards, 50 receiving yards, seems extremely easy for this guy. He's an absolute monster. Obviously, no Higgins means he's going to soak up more targets, and he caught 100 yards last week. So expecting very good stuff out there once again from Mike Gesicki. Hey guys, jumping in here with a quick ad break. This is a great time to sign up at StumpTheSpread.com. Signing up for a premium membership gets you access to our entire team of cappers covering NFL, college football, NBA, NHL, UFC, and NCAA basketball, which is just starting up and has been one of our most profitable sports over the years. We make things extremely easy for you with pick notifications directly to your phone and unit sizes assigned to each play so you can see where our confidence level is on every individual matchup. To test out the service before you buy, join our free email list to get the occasional free or premium pick straight to your inbox. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you're new, and also if you want to experience peer-to-peer sports betting while paying almost zero juice, click the link in the description to sign up at BetOpenly.com. Now guys, back to the games. Now, guys, let's go ahead and hop over to the NBA side of things. We only have a 3-game slate, so not too much craziness, but we're going to go ahead and dive in and break down these games. Some of these teams are actually playing right now, but I want to get this Thursday night video out to you as early as possible, so you've got plenty of time to get your bets in and to, be aware of what's going on out there. It could be a kind of wild night. First up, we've got the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're going on the road in this one to take on the Chicago Bulls, who played last night in Dallas, guys. As at time of recording right now, we're looking at the Bulls. They're hanging with Dallas. Looks like the first quarter is going to end with Chicago down by 6, so not getting blown out yet, but yeah, definitely not looking like they're going to have an amazing time so far. Minnesota, they come into this game playing, I would say, they're doing okay. They won 2 out of their last 3. They did lose 113-103 against the San Antonio Spurs. That was in San Antonio. Guys, this Timberwolves team is just going to take some time to mesh, and I am a little bit worried that they've messed things up. If you ask me, would I rather have Rudy Gobert or Karl Anthony Towns on my team? I would definitely rather have Karl Anthony Towns. The thing that I'm, thinking probably messed that whole trade situation up, I bet nobody out there really wanted Rudy Gobert at all. So why would you want a big man whose defense seems to be slipping? He can't play perimeter defense, and he's borderline useless in the playoffs. Definitely a concerning thing for me. So will this whole Karl Anthony Towns, trade thing work out here with the addition of Julius Randle work out? We did finally see Dante DiVincenzo have a good shooting night there against the Charlotte Hornets. So that's a positive development. But yeah, Anthony Edwards really just having to navigate his way here with what borderline feels like a whole new team. I mean, we saw Randle go 4 of 10 from the field for 13 points and post a +8 there against the Hornets. But yeah, Rudy Gobert, 8 points, 8 rebounds, whatever. Conley had a decent night. Anthony Edwards only shot 6 threes in the night, only played 29 minutes, but scored 21 points. The bench went absolutely bonkers. Great to see Naz Reid kind of getting in a groove, guys. He had 25 points. He went 5 of 7 from long range. He also had 9 rebounds in the game. He posted a +33 plus minus. Yeah, pretty nuts there. Dante DiVincenzo also posted a +33. He went 3 of 6 from deep, scored 14 points. He, had a couple turnovers there, but also had 3 assists and 5 rebounds. He was stuffing the stat sheet. I think he's going to be an extremely valuable piece once he finds his feet there in Minnesota. So yeah, just a lot of positives there for Minnesota. When you're playing against the Charlotte Hornets, though, guys, you're supposed to have a pretty freaking good time out there. Not going to be expecting you to have a whole lot of trouble if you're, a team that's supposed to be a title contender and you're playing a team like the Charlotte Hornets. So we'll see what Minnesota can do in this one. They come into this game with a clean bill of health. Nobody important on the injury report for this one. So they are going to be at full strength for this game. So we'll see how things go for the Timberwolves as they go on the road to take on the Bulls, who obviously we're not going to have a super updated injury report for them. They are 3-4 on the season, obviously playing right now against Dallas. So we'll see if they can break that 2-game losing streak, losing at Brooklyn and then losing at home against the Utah Jazz. Not a great look. Seems like the Chicago Bulls are headed for a very mediocre season once again. We have seen, some guys missing some time and stuff like that. I mean, Utah, that loss can't feel great. 135-126. The Bulls coming up on the short end there, but I guess slightly in their defense, they didn't have Zach LaVine for that game, so that's a pretty big deal. You're missing your best player. That's not going to help. Kobe White had a good game there. Dosunmu continues to play really, really well. The bench, though, guys, is definitely a problem. Talen Horton-Tucker, yeah, probably a guy you forgot was in the NBA, did put up 10 points and a +5 there off the bench, but he was really their best bench guy in that game. Josh Giddey posted a -18, so not a very good game for him. Just in general, this Bulls team is going to need some time to figure things out, and overall, just isn't looking like it's going to be that good. So we'll see what they can do here. Just taking a quick glance at what information we have right now on their injury report, and it's looking like Lonzo Ball will almost certainly still be out for this game. Zach LaVine, there's reportedly going to be some sort of chance that he could play in this one. He's still dealing with that thigh issue, but yeah, we'll see. He could be right. A right abductor strain. I'm seeing both things on here, thigh and right abductor strain. So regardless of what it is, there's a chance he ends up playing in the second half of this back-to-back. Looking at the numbers that we have right now, guys, obviously these are likely to change. The Bulls are getting 6.5 points here at home. We've got an over-under of 225. Minnesota, they are 2-5 against the spread, 4-3 to the over. Chicago, 3-4 against the spread, and 5-2 to the over as well. With a total here of 225, I definitely think you want to be looking at the over in this game. Minnesota hasn't been playing amazing defense. The Bulls are a team that can definitely shoot it a bit. So yeah, I think we could easily get over this 225. That seems reasonable to me. But guys, I would go out there pretty quickly and jump on the Timberwolves here at -6.5. I think this is a number that's going to go much higher after the Bulls are probably blown out there by Dallas. We'll see how the game ends. Obviously, it's still very early, but my guess would just be that Dallas probably has a pretty good time in that game, but we'll see how things go down the stretch. I think the Timberwolves probably going to go up to -8.5 somewhere in there, so I would jump on that -6.5 pretty quick. Next up, guys, we got the Utah Jazz. They're going on the road here to take on the Milwaukee Bucks. The Jazz not having a great time this season. They are coming off a win over the Bulls where they won 135-126. So that has to feel pretty good, but there's not going to be a ton of good feelings here for the Jazz. They got off to a super hot start last season. It has been pretty much the exact opposite so far this year, guys. Obviously, they're missing Markkanen. That's a huge deal. Colin Sexton had a big game, 24 points there for him. We saw Collins have a huge game, guys. He's kind of reinvigorating his career, or at least having a really good beginning of the season. He had 28 points and 13 rebounds in this when he posted a +11 off the bench. And just in general, the whole Utah bench played pretty well in this game. Not a lot of defense getting played out there, but overall a very reasonable game there for the Utah Jazz. I mean, we saw Kessler look good. We saw good stuff from Williams. Filipowski got 17 minutes out there, put up 7 points and only 5 rebounds, but also 2 assists. He only turned the ball over once. Not a terrible outing for the young guy. So we'll see what the Utah Jazz can do here as they go on the road to take on a team that's having maybe the worst start to the season out of anybody, guys. They're taking on the Milwaukee Bucks, who are 1-6 this year. They're coming into this game. You're not going to be too shocked to hear it. Fresh off the loss, they did play really well in that 2-game series there against Cleveland. I mean, they lost both games, but they lost by a grand total of combined from the 2 games of 3 points. They lost game 1 by 1, lost game 2 there at Cleveland by only 2 points. So yeah, a rough way to go there for the Milwaukee Bucks, who are just not being able to find their feet so far. Chris Middleton's still out indefinitely, so we don't know when he's going to be back. When you've got guys like Taurean Prince, you've got Bobby Portis there in the starting lineup, like Pat Connaughton's playing 22 minutes. Yeah, just not a great mix there. We did see some very positive stuff from AJ Green coming off the bench, so that's a nice development there. If he could be, a real piece for this team, that would help a lot. But yeah, they shot 48.5% from 3-point range there against Cleveland and still lost the game by 2 points. Very rough stuff. Obviously, that was a game where Giannis didn't play, so the assumption is they would have won that game if Giannis played. But guys, it has just been a struggle. We saw Gary Trent Jr. continue to be terrible. He posted a -19, and to be honest, he was probably the reason they lost that game. Dame did everything he could out there, but guys, it has been an absolute slog out there for the Milwaukee Bucks. So we'll see what they can do in this game. Looking at their injury report, Middleton obviously still out indefinitely. Giannis on the injury report as always. You'll have to keep up to date on that. Watch up close to game time because you never really know with him. He's technically questionable for this game with a thigh issue. I do think we're fairly likely to see him play in this game, but yeah, we'll just have to wait and see, guys. And on the Utah injury report, guys, Jordan Clarkson marked as out. Lauri Markkanen marked as out. Are they definitely going to miss this game, though? I mean, we do see Clarkson. He practiced fully there on Wednesday, so I think there's a very good chance of him being back here for this Thursday game. In terms of Markkanen, guys, he was also a full participant there in Wednesday practice, so keep very up to date on this one. If we see both of these guys back, looking at the numbers for this game, I really think we want to be looking at the Utah Jazz here. The Jazz are 3-4 against the spread this season, 4-3 to the under. Milwaukee only 2-5 against the spread, and 4-3 to the under themselves. Milwaukee -9 in this game. We've got an over/under of 229.5. This might feel a little bit crazy, guys, but I like the underdog in this game. Give me the Utah Jazz here at +9. As long as we see Markkanen playing in this game, Jordan Clarkson playing too would be great, but Markkanen is the one I really care about out there. And in terms of that over/under of 229.5, both teams showing very slight trends towards the under. If nobody plays, then maybe you want to go with that under. Jumping in with our first ever sportsbook ad, guys, and I am super excited to tell you about BetOpenly. They are unlike any regular sportsbook out there. Their whole goal is to facilitate peer-to-peer betting, so instead of them having a vested interest in you winning or losing your bet, they just want to match you up with a real person who wants the opposite side. At BetOpenly, you will be paying drastically reduced juice on your bets, close to 1% instead of the 10% you would pay at any of the big guys. Not having to fight that built-in house edge sounds pretty great to me. BetOpenly supports all your favorite bets, including props and parlays, and get this, guys, you can even be the house on parlays, meaning you only need a single leg to win to cash your bet. Most importantly, BetOpenly will never limit your account for being a consistent winner, which is something that happens all the time on the bigger sites. If you're interested in signing up, click the referral link in the description of this video and let's cash some bets. Now, guys, back to the games. Last but not least here, guys, we're looking at the Portland Trailblazers. They're going on the road to take on the San Antonio Spurs. The Trailblazers come into this game, guys, only 3-5 on the season, but not as bad of a start as you would have kind of expected from a team very much expected to be tanking here. Their last game, guys, they went into New Orleans. It got a 118-100 win there over the floundering Pelicans. We saw some definite positive things there from Portland. I mean, yeah, you win a game by 18 points on the road. Nothing wrong with that. We saw a very big game there from Anthony Simons. He's really improving his trade value or making it look like Portland should be maybe trying to build around him. We also saw Denalo Banton have a huge game there off the bench, 20 points, a plus 21 from him coming off the pine. He was 2 of 3 from long range. Portland won this game convincingly despite shooting only 10 of 29 from deep. They did shoot almost 55% from the field in general though, so that's a great look. They won the rebounding battle. That was a great look as well. Lots of starters posting big positive numbers. Jeremy Grant continues to struggle with his jump shot a little bit, but overall this has been a pretty, that was a pretty good win there, albeit, against a very short-handed Pelicans team, but still gotta give Portland some credit. They are playing with a good amount of effort. It's probably a little bit concerning to see Scoot go back to not being able to throw it in the ocean from deep. He was 0 of 3 from 3, but not going to talk a lot of crap here on Portland. They're coming off a win. Those are going to be a little bit few and far between for this team that's, not expected to exactly have an amazing season out there. Looking at their injury report for this game, currently no starters on the injury report. We've even got Robert Williams III back and ready to go. So we'll see if he gets any minutes. We'll see how things look. But yeah, overall, like what we're seeing right now from the Portland Trailblazers as they go on the road here to take on the San Antonio Spurs, who are currently down 38-63 there at Houston. So straight up not having a good time there for San Antonio. Thought they could keep this game close, but that has not been the case. We've got all that, kind of concerning news there swirling around Coach Popovich. He's not with the team right now, dealing with a medical issue, and Pop is about 2,000 years old, so that is definitely a major concern. Hopefully he's okay. Prayers up for Pop because, yeah, one of the greatest coaches in NBA history. So we'll see how things go there. The Spurs obviously going to be playing on back-to-back nights, so going to have to keep a close eye there on the injury report to see, what's going to happen there. San Antonio not having an amazing time. They lost a relatively competitive game there at the Clippers. They won at home against Minnesota and then won at Utah. So their last few games have been okay, but this game at Houston not looking great. Loving what we're seeing from Wembanyama. He just had another one of those just like absolutely coming out of the rafters kind of blocks. Yeah, crazy stuff there. He's able to do things on the basketball court that no human being was ever thought to be able to do. So we'll see how that continues. Obviously, Sohan and Devin Vassell going to continue to be out here. The injury report in general for San Antonio not looking amazing. Trey Jones still out as well. Overall, guys, it's looking a little bit tough right now for the Spurs. I mean, we'll see how they bounce back, in this game against Houston. Still plenty of time for them to make some sort of comeback and kind of make me eat my words about their bad start so far. But yeah, we've seen some good stuff from Wemby. We've seen decent stuff from Chris Paul. He's doing what he can to continue his career, but the bench looks really weak. They're decent on the board, so that's one positive, but we'll see what they can do here against Portland. But generally, looking at the numbers for this game, guys, the Spurs are -4. We've got an over-under of 216.5, so a very low total. Portland 5-2-1 against the spread this season. They are 4-3-1 to the under. San Antonio 4-3 against the spread and also 4-3 to that under. Guys, in this game, I like the Portland Trailblazers at +4. Might want to jump on that one pretty quick. We can see the Spurs possibly resting people. Who knows what'll actually go on there, but I definitely think this is a spot you want to be on the Portland Trailblazers. Getting points here on the road against the Spurs team that's going to be tired and has a lot of craziness going on with their head coach. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. Thanks for watching. You can click the link in the description to check out stumpthespread.com, and we will see you guys tomorrow for more sports betting action.